Phemisms, a semantic approach. Now, I've talked about Phemisms in a previous video. In this one, I want to focus on the nouns, euphemism, dysphemism, orthophemism, and how we're defining those terms. We're defining them in terms of their semantics. That is to say that we're saying that there's something about the meaning of these words that determines what category they fall into, if any. This is, again, a lexical semantic approach. A term is a euphemism, orthophemism, or dysphemism according to some feature or aspect of its meaning. Here are our definitions again. A dysphemism is a taboo linguistic expression. An orthophemism is a non-taboo linguistic expression with the same informative meaning as some dysphemism. And then a euphemism is a non-taboo linguistic expression with the same informational meaning as some dysphemism or orthophemism, which acts as a substitute for the dysphemism or orthophemism. Now, the informational meaning part of it is in some ways the less important part. The most important part of it being a euphemism is that it acts as a substitute. So, again, a euphemism is a non-linguistic taboo expression, is a non-taboo linguistic expression with the same informational meaning as some dysphemism or orthophemism, which acts as a substitute for the dysphemism or orthophemism. The key is the euphemisms are conventionally understood as a substitute for other expressions or some other expression. Semantically, the way we can think of this is that the euphemism has a feature plus euphemism. In the same way that we would say, for example, man has as part of its semantics plus male or plus masculine, and woman would have plus female or plus feminine as part of its meaning. We're saying that euphemism as part of its meaning is plus euphemism. That is its designation in the language is as a substituting word. And I want to conclude just by giving a triplet so that you, again, can kind of get a sense of what we're getting at here. So our dysphemism, that's a taboo expression, like, for example, cunt. And here I'm thinking of the term not as a slur, but as an obscenity. A euphemism for cunt would be vajayjay. And we know that there was a time when somebody coined that term, and then it was novel. And at that point, you couldn't really say that it was a euphemism so much as a euphemistic expression, because it wasn't conventionally understood yet. But it's been at least a decade since it came into common usage in English as a substitute. In that case, we can say that it is a euphemism now. And then, of course, our orthophemism, the term that we would use when we want to be completely non-taboo, the term that we would probably use in a classroom environment or in a doctor's office and so on, is vagina. So dysphemism, euphemism, orthophemism, all of them understood in terms of their meaning, often in terms of their social meaning. So again, tabooness is a social meaning feature. Euphemism, likewise, is going to be understood as a social meaning feature as a substitute for some dysphemism or some orthophemism. And then, of course, the orthophemism is defined in a sense negatively. It's non-taboo. And so in that way, it's neither a dysphemism, it's a euphemism, or a euphemism, because it's also not understood as a substitute. It just is.